Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this very special episode of the Korean Keto Guy channel. Reason being, of course, is because we did it. We hit 100 subscribers. Super duper happy about that. Actually, I'll explain in just a minute as to why I even have this whiteboard here, because it has to do with that. But I just want to say thank you guys. We're growing slowly but surely. 100 subscribers. Awesome milestone, in my opinion, for someone to get to. So I'm super happy about that. And for that reason, I have today with me here a whiteboard. So this is kind of funny, right? I actually got this whiteboard specifically for this reason. Because, right, I figured if I get to 100 subscribers, I want to do something extra special, not just, do a mukbang video, which I'll still continue to do. But really, the main purpose of this is, right, I want to do a quick little, almost like a refresher, if you will, since I know a lot of people kind of already know about keto, and certainly they kind of already know about intermittent fasting, but I just want to give you guys the quick update, especially for anybody who's new to this, right? Anybody who's actually kind of new to the keto or intermittent fasting lifestyle. This video is even more geared for you guys since, I've been doing it for so long now. So quick little backdrop, 2020 here. Yeah, wow, that's actually about 5 years now. 5 years going strong doing keto, and 8 years, pretty much 8 years going strong with intermittent fasting. So I definitely have some insight on it now, right? I can certainly share the good and the bad, and I also want to share the mistakes, because, right, if I could save you guys from making the same mistakes that I made, that's a win in my book. But anyways, guys, right, without further ado, let's get this video started. So I do have my whiteboard. It's a little one here. It's got a little magnetic marker. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, let's say, just jot down 5 things for keto. Here we are. So I'll probably just keep it English for you guys so you guys can see this. But 5 keto tips, right? And especially because this is for 2020, right? So some videos, at least for last year, may have not been updated. Not that there's been anything changed or anything too drastically new, but for me at least, I want to say there definitely have been a few things that have already been different. Not to mention kind of what's going on right now, right? Given the current circumstances, it's made keto a little, I would say, extra hard, but it was still doable. And that's also kind of something I wanted to focus in on for this video. So, right, in terms of 5 keto tips here, these are going to be from my personal experience, and also, right, for 2020, given our current circumstances. So one right off the bat that I kind of want to go with here is, probably should have thought about this a little better here, is stick to a plan. Now, this may this may sound a little dumb, right? Or you may be thinking, what does he mean, stick to a plan? So really, that's exactly what it sounds like. I just want to make sure you guys remember to stick to a plan, right? If you guys wrote it down on your phone or wherever you wrote it down as to how many grams of carbs you're going to keep it in, and as long as your net carbs don't go beyond a certain point, then great, right? In the back of your head, you're still in your ketosis, so you're good. So stick to that plan though, right? Because the moment, especially, right, given the current circumstances, you may have very limited food choices, right? You may think that, oh man, I picked the worst time to do keto and I don't know what to do. And really, if you just stick to the plan, right, that's what's key, because you can do it. I feel like it's even better now if you start keto, because you're even more it's almost like kind of what I went through when I first did keto, right? You almost have, pretty much only the basics, right? You know that you can't have any bread and rice, and there aren't going to be these fancy almond flour substitutes or anything like that. It's just strictly, hey, look, right, sticking to your meats, your cheeses, your veggies, and kind of hanging in there. So that's one, right? Stick to the plan. Number 2 here is, let's see, stick to plan number 2 is, right, use your smartphone. Wow, I just realized how bad my handwriting is on a whiteboard here. Let's be real, my handwriting is pretty bad, actually, regardless. But yes, there it is. Number 2 is use your smartphone. And right, this kind of plays into the idea that you're gonna stick to a plan, right? So if your plan's already on your phone to begin with, and you want to just mark something down really quick, what's really interesting is a lot of people like to use some sort of calorie counter, which I think is great too, right? But when you're just starting out with keto, you want to make sure you want to keep things as easy and as simple as possible, so that you don't get distracted, or you don't get overwhelmed and you're like, oh, this is hopeless, right? And you give up. So really what you're going to do, believe it or not, is you're going to use your smartphone, but you're actually going to download something that can do tasks, right? So for example, I have one, it's like a tasks app that has like a little check mark with it's a bunch of colors, and it's got a little white check mark in the middle. But really you can use this just to have tasks set that you can just then go in and just type in something. So for example, your first meal, just type in a quick note about it. Had it at 1 p.m., had some eggs and avocado with some cheese. And you can just put that. And it's almost just kind of like a reminder to help stick to your plan, right? It'll help you keep really like disciplined, and that, hey, I ate this at this time, whatever, we're good. And it's not so complicated, right? We have to put in like numbers and make sure the calories or this, that. It's just put it in, type it in, that's that. So right, that's another, I think, very useful tip that I've encountered recently. So yes, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, right, so we're going to stick to a plan. We're going to use your smartphone. And tip number 3 here, drink lots of liquids. Wow. I promise I will get better at this, guys. In your head, a whiteboard sounds like an amazing idea, but when you're actually using it, it's kind of like, whoa. But there it is. Drink lots of liquids. And this, may sound kind of like obvious to some people, like people who are already drinking tons of water. But what I mean more specifically is, when you can, drink your black coffee in the morning, right? Drink your teas, drink your green teas, or if you have a lot of tea at home, like whatever, stay away from, I personally think, just stay away from any of those like diet sodas, artificially flavored stuff, right? Basically it's not even about keto at that point, so that, that stuff is basically not good for you. So might as well just scratch that out, but stick to your black coffee, stick to your teas, stick to the unsweetened stuff, of course, right? No sweeteners. If you really have to, maybe in a pinch, right, use some stevia, or maybe some monk fruit. But ideally, right, try to drink liquids. Don't have the artificial stuff in it. No sweeteners if you can help it. And right, black coffee, your teas, your green teas, your peach teas, whatever. I should say more like herbal tea, whatever you got. And I've been doing that a lot too. Like in the mornings, I'll have my black coffee to get me up and going, but maybe in the afternoons I'll taper off to like a mild green tea or a very weak green tea, like I'll water it down a lot. And then right, super duper pro tip, in the evenings or even during the day, if you guys can get a hold of it, sparkling water. Absolutely. I would almost have it in just number 3 as sparkling water, but oh man, if you guys did like sodas and you wanted something like a soda, mineral water, sparkling water, a soda stream, even I have a soda stream, it's freaking amazing. Like, it's a game changer. You can even squirt a little lemon on there. It's just, wow, that would have probably been a tip on its own. But yeah, sparkling water, soda water, little bit of lemon in there. It's super pro tip. It really works in a pinch. It kind of shuts down that craving that you may have for a soda or something carbonated. But that's tip number 3. Tip number 4. Let me make sure I get this a little more aligned here. It's pretty cool. This marker has a little eraser, but let's go here. Tip number 4, because it's totally not aligned here. Let me see here. Right, so we got stick to a plan, use your smartphone, drink lots of liquids, sparkling water, pro tip. Number 4, and I think this is, I'm debating because I was going to originally say incorporate intermittent fasting to your keto, but I think I've already kind of touched on that on another video, and everyone going into 2020, I feel like almost already knows that now. It's like you want to go into keto and eventually you want to combine intermittent fasting. What the heck? Let's make that tip number 4. I will go with that. So after some time, include intermittent fasting. So right there, boys and girls, right there. Number 4, if you can, after some time, right? Only if and only if you get real comfortable with doing keto, and I would say maybe like 2-3 weeks, maybe 1 solid month. Like if you do 1 solid month of keto, you know, you can then probably venture into incorporating intermittent fasting. Now I'll make a quick little tip, 5 tips video too for intermittent fasting, or I should say rather, I'll probably just incorporate it into this video too, because it'll be real quick. Intermittent fasting is pretty straightforward, but I've found the most results when you include intermittent fasting while doing keto. Because right, to be fair, if you guys see my other videos, I give more credit to intermittent fasting than anything else. I started intermittent fasting right way before I did keto. Keto was only something that kind of like, came into about because I kind of plateaued with intermittent fasting, but really, intermittent fasting is great. And to make it real simple, after 1 month of solid keto, like you're 100% into the keto zone, you can now just incorporate intermittent fasting, which really just means just make sure you set some time in the day where you do have your keto meals, and then that's it, right? So for instance, I like that 1 p.m. mark. First meal, have it at 1 p.m., right? Have your bacon, cheese, and avocado with some vegetables right at 1 p.m., right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8 p.m., right? There's my 8-hour window. I'll have my last meal at 7:30, let's call it, bam. And then anytime in between then, right, you can have your almonds, your keto snacks, whatever it is. So that's really it. That's honestly all you're really doing. You're just doing the same thing, but you're just going to squeeze it into that little time frame. And then last but not least, tip number 5. And for this one thing I've noticed is I was actually going to debate whether to put cheese, but I'm going to put that cheese. And you guys may be thinking, what in the heck is this guy talking about? And what I'm talking about is, right, so you guys can see that, right? Here we go, number cheese. Stick to a plan, use your smartphone, drink lots of liquids, include intermittent fasting after some time, and then cheese. So this one really stems out of my own personal experience, where sometimes when you're kind of just in a rut, right? And you just, you've been eating healthy, you've been doing clean keto, right? You've been eating kind of, okay, sure, you have your bacon, avocado, and cheese, but you'll have eggs and a whole bowl of spinach, right? Salad or whatever, and you're eating tomatoes, and you're doing really good, you're eating clean, but then you kind of like, oh man, like, I need something more satiating. Like I just need something to really kind of satisfy this weird craving or whatever. And I don't know, for me, for some reason, cheese. Yeah, just like a big block of cheese. I always have some kind of cheese in the fridge, whether it's mozzarella or sharp cheddar or Swiss or whatever. It doesn't even matter. Just like a block of it or something. And I'll just bite into it. Yeah, sounds crazy, but I'll just like kind of cut it open, take a few bites of it. It's really good. Obviously, I'll do this in the middle, like I'll do this in the window that I have for intermittent fasting. So let's say using the 1 to 7:30 example, or 1 to 8 p.m. example, during the time, maybe like at 4:30, right after lunch, maybe like for a snack, I'll just bite into a piece of cheese, and it really does satisfy. Like it kind of just, puts you at ease almost, if that makes sense. But yeah, guys, that's my 5 pro tips, or my 5 keto tips for 2020 update. And also, right, I feel like these also, especially given the current circumstances we're in, you know, these are easy to find, right? So I'm hoping that you guys, when you get your groceries, right, you can still find cheese, right? You can still, you're still gonna have access to your phone, right? Your liquids, you're still gonna have access to water and stuff, and tea. Sparkling water may be a little harder now that I realize, but that's why I didn't really write it as that's why I didn't actually write it as its own thing, because I realized that, you know what, actually getting a hold of sparkling water is a little tough. But black coffee, tea, stuff like that, you should be able to get. And then, right, you know, intermittent fasting, doesn't matter what situation, you can do that. You still have your phone. And then, yeah, so these tips, I think, are what I feel have been the most useful for me so far in 2020. And yeah, without further ado, also, let's get into intermittent fasting super duper quick too. This one actually won't take as long, and I have a cool little eraser here that'll really erase it all. But yeah, oh, you know what? What am I doing, guys? Look, so this, you know what's so cool about this whiteboard? Check it out. So, real quick, I don't have to erase this. Bam, check that out. How is that not cool? That is so cool, right? So here we go. 5 intermittent fasting tips, right? Here we go, guys. Here we go, guys and gals. Tip number 1. Use your hands or smartphone. First tip for intermittent fasting in 2020 here. Sounds crazy, right? Like, what are you talking about? Use your hands. I swear, like, for me, it's second nature because I've been doing intermittent fasting for so many years. But for some people starting out, they may honestly just lose track, and they may get discouraged just because they simply forgot, maybe, oh man, is it that 1 hour, or is it that? Use your hands, just use it. I swear, it looks hilarious, but it really does, it helps, right? And who cares what anyone else thinks? Like, you know, you're doing this for yourself anyway. So intermittent fasting, right? When you do it, you're like, all right, 1 p.m. I'm gonna break my fast at 1 p.m. every day. So when you do it, right, the moment you have your first meal at 1 p.m., now you can be like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So you know that as long as you have a meal before 9 p.m., you will be in your 8-hour window, right? So ideally, 1 p.m., break your fast, right? And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 p.m., I would say, is to be safe, right? So actually you want to have, let's just say you have your last meal right at 8 p.m. Then you're solid, you're safe, right? There's your 8-hour window, boom, solid. Especially later down the road when you go to like maybe a shorter intermittent fasting window, you do like 6 hours, right? 1 p.m., right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got it right at 6. Definitely at 7, right? So if you go to 7, you just have to know that, make sure really you can't go past 7 if you're doing a 6-hour window. So use your hands, it really does help. Obviously your phone, same thing. The same app, I'll show you guys right now what I'm talking about here. It's really, really cool. The same tasks app that I'm using for not just keto and intermittent fasting, but for anything. I use it for like my work, I use it for personal reasons. It's like a super generic, you just type in whatever you want, save it, and that's it. It's amazing. And it looks like this. Right, here we are. But yeah, it's called the tasks, to-do list, task list, reminder. Install it, you can write whatever you want. Plays into the idea that, right, if you want to write down the time you ate, what you ate real quick, cheese, avocado with some spinach, bam. Last meal, 7 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m. Write down 8 p.m. Had a lettuce, a big giant romaine lettuce heart with some mayonnaise, cheese, ham, and made a little keto sandwich, whatever. You mark it down. So that's super pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2 here. I'm calling them pro tips now, but yeah, these are the tips I've been finding very useful recently for intermittent fasting. Yeah, you know, kind of holds true. Liquids, right? You got to have your liquids. Drink your teas, drink your black coffee. Some of this stuff is going to be the same from the keto parts of things, but it's okay because liquids are still important. Got to have your black coffees. that's honestly what's going to kind of keep you going, right? The black coffees, the unsweetened teas, because those won't really break a fast, right? You'll be okay. So take advantage of those. Sparkling water, I swear, not making it up. Some sparkling water with some lemon, lime, or like the very slightly hinted flavor sparkling waters. Gosh, they save you in a pinch when you're really, really hungry. So there it is so far. Use your hands, smartphone, and liquids. Number 3. All right, quick tip for intermittent fasting. Number 3 is kind of debating between 2 in my head. I was gonna say, get your workout in before you eat or break your fast. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but workout before breaking fast. Here we are. Tip number 3, workout before breaking your fast. And that's literally what it is. Just make sure you break your fast. Make sure you work out before you break your fast. I actually just worked out. I'm about to break my fast soon after this video. You'll see better results. I promise. Like you're basically being more efficient in terms of how you're burning fat. Not to mention if you're on keto and doing this, you're burning fat way more efficiently. You know, you may have, if you're doing a lot of like heavy weights, obviously that's not going to be, you may see a little bit of a, you know, a lack in performance with the heavier weights. But if you're just doing like, you know, like calisthenics, like push-ups, pull-ups, whatever, kettlebell swings, running in place, soccer, running outside, whatever, it really does impact it in a positive way. More efficient, you burn more, you start to, I don't know, you also feel better, right? I know if you guys try to eat a meal and go running, it just doesn't even work. But definitely try working out before breaking fast. Number 4, quick pro tip on this one. I was going to say originally, right? If incorporate keto if you haven't done this first. But really, you know, one tip here is actually, believe it or not, try intermittent fasting first. Here's tip number 4, right? Try intermittent fasting or IF first. And that's kind of weird, right? Because I know I made a video where pretty much I say to incorporate these two, they go like, you know, they go hand in hand, and they do. But to give intermittent fasting just a little more credit here, I think that if you're gonna try one of these first, and let's say keto is just not working out for you, or you're doing keto, it's just not, you know, it's just too much, you know? Maybe it's just not working well with your body. Try intermittent fasting first. Definitely try intermittent fasting first. It's not a big change to your lifestyle. In fact, you're not changing anything in terms of your diet. You're just pushing the time in which you eat into a window, and that's that. So I would say try that first. Because right, if that works, then you can go ahead and incorporate keto a little bit, slowly but surely, to see how your body reacts, right? And a quick note on that, I know that for most people, when it comes to keto, at least, some things, you know, some of the common stuff is like my bowel movements, right? Like, oh, my digestive tract is all out of whack, or oh, I don't feel so good. And that's all true, right? Because for like however many years your body's been eating carbs, all of a sudden you shut it off. Yeah, your bowel movements are gonna look weird. You're gonna feel weird. Your digestive tract's gonna feel weird. Your gut biome, whatever, it's all out of whack. But after some time, right? That's why maybe 2-3 weeks, 1 solid month, it'll change. But I would say intermittent fasting first. Try that. Last tip, guys. Last intermittent fasting tip, and this one's a tough one because I always know beforehand kind of what I want to talk about, but I feel like once I'm in front of you guys, especially for this video, I like all my ideas kind of flood back in. And what I'll say here is push your window further out. So there it is. That's the last tip there. Tip number 5, push your window further out. What I mean by that is to push your eating window further out in the day if you can. Because what that really means at the end of the day is that now you can eat later in the day. And most people get hungry pretty much late at night, right? Or at night when they're at home. So I think that's a big one. So using our example here, right? Instead of 1 p.m., maybe it's 3 p.m., right? So it's like, okay, I'm gonna break my fast at 3 p.m. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, that means I can have my last meal at 10 p.m. at night, and I'm still in my in this case, I'm in a 8-hour window, 8-hour eating window, right? So it's like, wow, okay, that's the idea with that. And what happens with that is that you'll be less hungry at night, and you'll be less tempted to kind of break or, you know, eat something and eat it way outside of your window. So that's it, guys. I know this video is kind of a little longer, but I definitely wanted to make a really cool video for you all. Try something different, right? Use my little whiteboard in this case for intermittent fasting and also for the keto tips. I certainly kind of enjoyed it, and thank you all again for the 100 subscribers. Still super duper happy about it. Like I remember, like I said, I was like, oh, if I get 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a whiteboard type of thing, and this has just been sitting there and I just busted it out. But yes, thank you guys for the 100 subscribers. Continue to comment, right? I do look at those. I still know that, right, there's a few ideas lingering in the comments I gotta do. I still need to do a workout video, right? Show you guys what the heck am I doing for my workouts. Obviously we're still in this situation where, you know, we're all stuck at home, so be safe, right? Try these little tips out. I hope these tips kind of helped you guys out, right? I know some of this may be very basic, but for anyone new, definitely try these out. Stay safe, right? And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in the next video next week. Take care, everyone.